person that I could describe as a patriot. She was a very patriotic Ghanaian, very strong woman. She had very good political views as well as social views about the development of Ghana. Theodosia comes from the Nana Kwesi Enyane Brecho Adontin family of Enum, and she had married Enoch Okoh, who was secretary to the cabinet in Kwame Nkrumah's administration. She was a very strong woman. Her maiden name is Esihene, and she's one of 8 siblings of the Reverend Esihene and his wife. They had been stationed in several areas of Ghana at the time that Theodosia was growing up. All the siblings came up to be professional people. They were really brought up well. Theodosia Okoh was born of, as I have explained to you before, her parents are Reverend and Mrs. Esihene, who come from Enum. Both her father and mother came from Enum. Theodosia Okoh has been associated with every ethnic group in Ghana except for Enum, where she really comes from. Some people pronounce the name Okoh as Okoh, and by that they try to assign her as being a Ghan. And other people, some people who knew her closely enough knew that she was not a Ghan, but they thought she was an Akwapim. But she wasn't any other group except a Gwan from Enum. I met her when she was probably in her mid-50s. The Enum Improvement Association had gone under several times, a number of times, and her Theodosia Okoh and her husband came to revive the association. At that time, this goes back to about 1970. At that time, I was freshly graduated from the University of Ghana, and the association invited me to be their secretary. And that's how I met Theodosia Okoh one-on-one. We were having our meetings at Asalam Down. And we had several meetings, for the improvement. We talked basically about the improvement of Enum, but we also made linkages with other associations for the development of Ghana in general. Yes, they're very proud. As a matter of fact, at this point, the Enum people have built a monument, which is the bust of Theodosia Okoh. A number of us had fought for this honor because we felt that Theodosia Okoh was being sidelined. The person that develops the national flag of Ghana is a really, really, really important person. So is the person that composed the national anthem, which is a Flip Beho. Flip Beho was much more known than Theodosia Okoh. But we as Enum people did not want to sit by and see our compatriot, a very strong woman, debased and sidelined and neglected like that. So we put together a plan to erect her in her bust as a monument in Enum, and that monument stands now. That monument was unveiled about 2-3 years ago. In every country, a person of first stature, the person that designed the flag, deserves honor. The person that composes the national anthem deserves honor. These are patriotic people. For anybody to go to the level to design a flag or to compose a national anthem, then they have to be patriotic. And mind you, these people did their work in a national competition. There was Theodosia Okoh herself says that at the time of independence, there was an advertisement in the newspaper that said that they were looking for a person to design a flag for Ghana, a national flag. And that flag had to meet certain requirements. She was then an art teacher at Achimota Secondary School. So she took the challenge. And there were probably about 20 to about 50 entrants. And her work was chosen as the best among the lot. The same thing goes for the national anthem. There was also a national competition for somebody to compose a national anthem, following the choice of the flag. So the national anthem was supposed to reflect the flag, which Mr. Philip Beho did, and that's how we had our first national anthem. The words of those national anthems have since been changed, okay? And the new words in the national anthem really do not reflect the flag. In every country, the words of the national anthem, certain stanzas in the national anthem reflect the flag. They talk about the flag. They sing about the flag. They adore the flag. So, in the case of Ghana, it has not been like that. The old anthem was, of course, composed by Philip Beho. And it goes something like, lift high the flag of Ghana, the gay star shining in the sky. Then it talks about the red band in the flag. It's for the blood of the heroes that fought the different wars and fought colonialism so that we could get independence. And then it talks about the green, which is the richness of the land, the various forests that we have. And then the gold, which talk about the richness, the gold. Remember that before independence, Ghana was called the Gold Coast. Yangara Assassini was one of the, I had said earlier that there was a competition to compose the national anthem. And a lot of musicians submitted compositions for that competition. And Yanyara Assassini was composed by Dr. Ephraim Amu. And that Yanyara Assassini won the second place in that competition. The panel that selected the Behold National Anthem actually thought that Yanyara Assassini should have been selected as #1. But it was not selected as #1 because it was composed in Twi. And at that time, the politics in Ghana was to bring about a unification of the people. So the panel thought that if they selected a Twi composed anthem over any other composition, it would have been wrong. People would not be happy with the whole idea. So that's why Philip Beko's anthem was chosen as the #1. So then after that, the Kwame Nkrumah said, okay, I still don't want to, Yanyara Assassini is such a good anthem that even if it doesn't become the national anthem, I still want to play it every day. So Yanyara Assassini is played every morning when the Ghana radio station starts working in the morning. Our benign treatment of her reflects our attitude as Ghanaians. We're not patriotic enough to recognize the people that have contributed a lot in their lives for the development of Ghana. It's not just the anthem, it's not just the flag, but it's our attitude towards the singing of the anthem. Years ago, at the time of independence, I was just a youngster at that point, but at the time of independence, we felt very proud to have our own anthem, and we stood at attention anytime that anthem was played. But today, when you play the national anthem, you see a lot of people walking around and moving, and that's not a sign of respect for something that we should be proud of. The same thing goes with the flag. Quite recently, some people have changed the gold band in their flag and they've put in a yellow band. Okay? And that's not a national, this is not something which the government has done. Certain individuals just did that because they really don't know the history of the flag and they have a complete disregard for something which is such a national symbol. Well, you know, no, I don't think they should be in public office if they cannot sing the national anthem to begin with. But it shows you the general malaise, it shows you the decay in our society, that we don't hold the country dear to our heart the way we should hold the country dear. Patriotism is almost gone now, and it's really sad. We need to get back to becoming patriotic. This is the Ghana and the only Ghana we have. We can never go anywhere and make that country our own country. A lot of people have traveled from outside, to other lands outside Ghana, but they have never called those lands their new home. They always come back to Ghana. So once we have that attitude that this is our Ghana, we have to hold it dear to our heart. I definitely think that school children should be involved in the independence anniversary celebration. I definitely think that the general public should be involved in celebrating the independence and the Republic Days. Right now, what is happening is that the general public have become spectators. They stay in their homes and they watch TV. They watch what goes on in Black Star Square on TV. And in the areas where people go to the various stadiums to participate in the march, it has become a spectacle, and it's really sad. Usually, the people that go to participate in the march have to wait on politicians who never seem to arrive on time. Sometimes they are about 4 or 5 hours late. And these school children who got there on time and haven't eaten anything for the day start collapsing. That's very unbecoming of the politicians. The Independence and the Republic Day celebrations and the National Day celebrations are for the people of Ghana. They are not for politicians. That is not the place to go and make election speeches. It's for the enjoyment of everybody who is Ghanaian. We should be playing our panogos and our Adowa and our Phantom from, you know, this was won for the people, by the people. It's the chiefs and the indigenous people who won independence. When you talk about the Mensa Sabas and Asante and the people that resisted colonialism, these are the people who won independence for Ghana. It was not the soldiers who go to march. Okay? Very often we have soldiers and the soldiers and the security agencies, people from the security agencies marching, and they play their military songs, which, by the way, are Western songs of victory. These Western songs of victory are played by the Western armies when they had victory over their oppressors. It has nothing to do with us as Ghanaians. But anytime we have celebrations, national celebrations, these are the songs we go to listen to. All this need to change. We need to go to the roots. We need to go back and claim independence for the ordinary Ghanaian. These are the people who won independence, the people who fought slavery, who fought the people who were being transported into the Americas and to Europe as slaves. Those are the people who won independence for us, and it's not the politicians. The Black Star was an idea. It's actually Marcus Garvey's idea. He's a Garveyite, and he probably got it from somewhere else also. I don't know who was the originator of that, but that was the idea, to tell black people that they could write. It's a figurative thing, that they could shine as black people. The world is not owned by Western people, it's not owned by the whites and the Caucasians. Okay? We are the original people on this earth, as we know it. And we are going back as black people. We're being encouraged to go back and fight to reclaim our rightful position in the world. So the star is symbolism of the rising of black people. And it's very significant that after a lot of African countries won their independence, the world has changed. Okay? The change is probably not up to the point where we need it. Because there's racism all over the world. We want to get to the point where we as black people can be seen as originators and educators. we've had several developments in ancient Timbuktu. The first university was in Timbuktu, which was in Africa. Egyptian civilization came way ahead of Greek civilization and Roman civilization. The Romans and the Greek copied from Africans, they copied from Egypt. They looted, when Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, he sent people to go back to his homeland to tell the intelligentsia to come and study in Egypt, because that's where the knowledge was. They plundered the Egyptian universities and the libraries where all the good information was. We're losing a lot from not having civic studies. We're losing a lot from not studying African history, Ghanaian history, from first grade up to high school. In each grade up to high school, and maybe even at the university level, history has to be taught. Our own history. When I was in high school, I studied European history. The focus was on European history. That's what we all studied. And people that failed, there was a time where people that failed history, who were offering general arts, failed their whole high school education. They failed their whole high school exam because they failed European history. Can you believe that? That's asinine. Okay? We need to go back and claim what is ours. We need to teach our children from start. We need to inculcate in them the idea that Ghana is our homeland. This is what we need to develop, and we're going to be there forever. If our children learn that what they have is better than what they can ever get anywhere, Ghana will be the greatest country in the world. We are in the middle of the world. If you take the meridian, the Greenwich meridian, 0, and take the equator across, the nearest country that the two cross is Ghana. So Ghana is really in the middle of the world. We're not doing enough to promote it. Ghana is really a peaceful country. It's a very nice country. We have a lot of diversity. A lot of people like to go to visit Ghana. But we don't have the right structures which will encourage people to come. First of all, our tourist centers are really dilapidated. We haven't developed anything. There's no recreation around the tourist areas. Tourists don't go there to just go see a dam. Okay. When they go and they see the dam, they like to eat. They're going to feel hungry at some point. They like to eat. So there should be a place where they could go sit down, eat, have a nice Ghanaian meal before they go back home. The same thing is we have a lot of Ghanaian games that we used to play when we were kids. All these games have disappeared. Okay? If we developed all these games, if we develop enough sanitary places to eat and enough places to go to the bathroom, to bathroom facilities, we should see a lot of people coming. But we develop a monument, we develop the dam. We have Boti Falls. And people just go there to look at the falls. That's not enough. We should develop ancillary interests around. And we should coordinate in such a way that somebody that goes to see Boti Falls, for instance, would like to go to see the forest where you have the monkeys. Somebody that goes to see the dam will not just go to the dam and drive back to Accra, but they would probably go to Dodoa Forest. They'll probably stop in Dodoa Forest and then look at the history of Dodoa Forest and the battles that were fought over there. It's a legend. In every Western country that you go, when you go to visit an area as a tourist, you just don't go there to just look at one thing. You go and it's a package. And there are a series of things that you're going to see along the route. So you go and you see a national park, and on your way back there's something else which is on the way that you can go to see. We're definitely losing our culture. And anybody that loses their culture ultimately lose their language also, because language is culture. Language dictates what you wear, what you eat, the way you live, the stories that you tell. We should be telling our own stories. We should be telling Anansi's stories. These are all things that we have left behind. And it seems like we are assuming Western cultures, plurality. There are some Ghanaian families who don't even want their children to learn a Ghanaian language. It's very absurd that a lot of Ghanaians cannot read and write one Ghanaian language. That's absurd. I would think that it has been said that we have about 30 Ghanaian languages, major Ghanaian languages, and maybe dialects. Okay. I would think that if a person is able to speak 3 of them, we're a multi-language country, and a person, any person, should be able to speak at least 3 different Ghanaian languages. Ga, Twi, Ewe, Hausa, Dagomba, etc. And be able to write at least one. Everybody in Ghana has to be able to write one Ghanaian language. Okay. We are in a situation where we don't have that, and it's really sad. 2, I've already said that our national celebrations
should be short.
Are really for the people of Ghana. They are not for the politicians. Okay? So we need to be able to determine how we're going to celebrate our national holidays. Independence Day, Republic Day, Farmers Day, any day that we go to celebrate. We should be able to contribute, have a determination in which we're going to celebrate those languages. Finally, we have not, as Ghanaian people, we have not celebrated our elders as much as we should celebrate them. Our heroes and heroines, we've not celebrated them at all. I would like to see monuments built in Accra for Philip Beho, who composed the national anthem, and Theodosia Okoh, who designed the Ghana flag. I think they belong right at the Black Star Square. There should be very big monuments for these people. we should have a flag day. Okay? There should be a day which is designated by Parliament as a flag day and should be celebrated as such. And on that day, we should talk much about the flag. We should talk much about the anthem, because the flag and the national anthem go hand in hand.
Tolane domine fesene, Upiona.